There's an ethics investigation looking into the mayor of Erie. He's accused of forcing a vote to give funding to a nonprofit that he happens to be on the board of.
All the rain from last week hit a park in Inglewood particularly hard. While neighbors are used to the park flooding there, now they're dealing with a different problem.
We used to be lakeside when the field filled up with water, but now we're cliffside.
And despite its popularity, lawmakers across the country have been calling for TikTok to be banned in the United States. But that could have a significant impact on some small businesses who found viral success via that app. 4 o'clock at 9 News starts now. Four o'clock on your Monday afternoon, and we start with Colorado's Independent Ethics Commission now investigating a complaint against the mayor of Erie. The complaint accusing Mayor Justin Brooks of forcing a vote that would send grant dollars to a nonprofit, one that he sits on the board of.
Brooks is the president of Being Better Neighbors, a group that has sponsored Pride and Juneteenth events in Erie. 9 News reporter Steve Stager looked into the complaint against Brooks.
2 days after he was elected mayor of Erie last year, then trustee Justin Brooks sat in on a pretty standard government meeting.
I'm calling the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Board meeting to order.
The town's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Board. Brooks served as the liaison between Erie's Board of Trustees and this group. This April 7th, 2022 meeting is now the basis of an ethics complaint filed against the mayor by a failed candidate for trustee, Ryan Kenward. In the complaint, Kenward accuses Brooks of pressuring the board to make a vote on awarding grant money to a nonprofit, of which Brooks is the president. Brooks, quote, exerted his influence to take a vote when the board expressed hesitancy to take any votes on spending, with a new board coming soon, the complaint reads. The board did express hesitancy that day since their term was almost up. They wanted to delay all decisions.
Let's decide, does it make sense for us today to actually vote on anything important like spending money, doing commitments?
I think you should.
But Brooks, who again was serving as the liaison between the town board and this group, chimed in long before funding for his nonprofit was mentioned.
Because if you defer the decision today, they're going to spend their first meeting trying to figure out what they're going to do as a board, and they will run out of time and they won't be able to get this work done.
In the end, the board voted on its own to spend $2,000 on a Pride event supported by Being Better Neighbors. Brooks is the president of that nonprofit's board. An affidavit responding to the ethics complaint says Brooks was not a voting member of this DEI advisory board, and he insists he didn't tell anyone how to vote. In late March, the Independent Ethics Commission voted to allow the complaint to move forward to a hearing.
I think the next agenda item
The State Ethics Commission ruled that this complaint was non-frivolous. They ruled that back in March, which means that there is going to be an investigation into this now. The former head of the Ethics Commission told us today they have to do that in order to open an investigation into what they deem a serious claim. The commission meets again in June. With this, the only active complaint they're investigating right now. We should point out here that just a few weeks after this, Brooks' nonprofit was up for another grant, this one before the actual town board where he served as a trustee, and Brooks recused himself from that discussion and from the vote.
Okay. How long do we think this investigation is going to take?
Could take a little while. You know, the Independent Ethics Commission was scheduled to have a meeting in May. They canceled that meeting. Expect probably, since there aren't a lot of cases in their queue right now, to potentially get to something in June.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Yep.
For those of you who thought it might never end, the June 6th runoff election in Denver now just stands 3 weeks away. The ballots are being mailed today, meaning they should be in your mailbox sometime this week. There are 3 Denver City Council races to be decided in the runoff. Those are in districts 8, 9, and 10. Of course, the most money and the most attention has been focused on the vote to choose the city's next mayor, the race between Mike Johnston and Kelly Brough. Whoever wins certainly could have significant influence over the city's growth, development, homeless enforcement, and public safety. Reminder that tomorrow 9 News will host Johnston and Brough, our final mayoral debate. It'll be live here in our studios at 7 p.m. Kyle Clark, our politics guy, Marshall Zellinger, and Anusha Roy will do the moderating, and you can watch it commercial-free on Channel 20. It's also going to be live streamed on 9 News Plus and on the 9 News YouTube channel. We do know the Nuggets are playing at 6:30. Don't worry, the debate will be available online if you'd like to watch it later.
Sinkholes in Englewood are nothing new. Many of us remember that giant one that a car actually fell into 1 year ago at Oxford and Sheridan. There is another one after this recent storm, not nearly as large, but still a concern for neighbors. Here's 9 News reporter Katie Eastman.
Good boy.
A walk through Rotolo Park in Englewood requires a bit more caution on Monday.
We'll do a wide girth. We have a new addition.
Sarah DaCosta is used to rain adding hazards here. This was the same park flooding in 2019.
It's been nice that, we're not, lakeside.
The city fixed that issue.
We're now cliffside.
But there's another one. After last week's rain, a sinkhole opened on city property next to Sarah's home.
It's in a very, pedestrian accessible area. So that's like the terrifying part. So we have enough common sense not to, go exploring or go do our own Alice in Wonderland episode. But it's a dangerous thing, and it just really needs to be taken care of, and we need to get answers.
4 years ago, the city of Englewood said their storm and sewer utility budget was woefully underfunded. Since then, they have increased utility rates and say $18.4 million is going into stormwater improvements.
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Back in 2019, they said $45 to $75 million would be needed to fix all the issues related to flooding in Englewood.
Hopefully they're going to be doing something about it other than just covering it up and praying that it doesn't go too much bigger. So, our whole street could go down. We don't know.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. The city of Englewood called this sinkhole relatively small. They added that long term. They're checking the health of their storm sewer system through scheduled regular cleanings and inspections. And we wanted to add that car that fell through at Oxford and Sheridan. That happened about 4 years ago.
Okay.
So
yeah.
they've fixed things since then.
They have fixed things, yeah. But like you said, it's nothing new. Everybody's talking about the potholes right now and all the other things because all this.
It's just tough, and infrastructure costs a lot of money. So it's tough if you just don't have that money right away to put into all of these projects.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Katie.
Hey, speaking of roads that are damaged right now, Sky 9 is over this situation. This is 285 heading into the canyon, and that looks like that is the westbound lanes, but on the right side there you can see that erosion has taken the shoulder off of the right side. They have put some cones out shutting down that right side lane, but you can see the damage that all the rains of the past week have done, leaving a big hole underneath parts of the road there. So that's a situation to keep an eye on, which we will do. Try to get you a little more information about that situation. But Kathy, it continues to rain.
That's scary.
I know.
It's sorry, looking at that scares me out, doesn't it, Kathy?
Yeah, it scares me too. Just anywhere you go, you can kind of see canyons through the dirt and mud on the hillsides, on the roads, on the trails, anywhere you are. You can definitely tell we are in our wettest month, and we have seen record rainfall so far. Over 30% of our annual precipitation has fallen in 3 days' time in this past week. And as many of you know, it was a soggy Mother's Day. We had a few light showers out there today. But I'm bringing a little bit of a drying trend over the next 2 days. Not entirely calm and quiet, but the trend will be for isolated showers down here. We're starting to see some breaks in the clouds across the Continental Divide, and temperatures are going to start to warm as the winds shift out of the southwest tomorrow. 50s and 60s for eastern Colorado. We should be in the low 70s this time of year. Winds are out of the east right now, but once they shift later tonight, that's going to be a game changer for us. And the latest system pulls away from Colorado. We'll have southwest winds. You're going to wake up to some sunshine tomorrow. How great will that be? Nothing severe, thankfully, today, but anytime you have moisture with heat of the day, you're going to get some garden variety storms, and they're just kind of meandering off the foothills, producing a little bit of lightning and wind, but not holding together terribly well. 20% chance of a rain shower tonight. Severe weather threat very low across much of Colorado and the western U.S., a scene that we'll see again tomorrow. So again, maybe a brief shower, and then guess what? We're done. You're going to clear tonight. Might see some stars for the first time in a while and get you sunshine for your Tuesday. Temperatures comfortable through the evening drive time in the 60s. We're in the low 60s in downtown Denver. We'll continue to track these evening showers, talk about a warmer, drier Tuesday, and Wednesday's looking pretty good as well. And then we'll talk about Thursday and Friday when some cooler weather returns and the chance for more rain.
Okay, here's quite a story for you. A rough night for at least a driver in a southeastern Colorado town. That's because he tried to switch seats with his dog after being pulled over on suspicion of DUI. Now, it happened in the small town of Springfield. That's in Colorado's southeastern corner. Springfield police say an officer pulled over a driver going 52 and a 30, and then the driver tried to switch seats with his dog. The dog had been in the passenger seat. They said they were trying to get from Las Animas to Pueblo, but got lost. Well, they were, because as you can see on the map, Springfield's in the other direction. The town's actually closer to Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico than it is to Pueblo. Police say there were also two sober people in the back seat, one of whom the actual owner of the car. Springfield's police chief says he doesn't know why one of them wasn't driving. The driver, who they found in the passenger seat, was booked on several charges, as well as 2 prior warrants coming out of Pueblo. The other 2 passengers then took the car and the dog to Pueblo.
You're worried about the dog. I'm always worried about the dog. But that's bonkers. I mean, I have a dog that likes to drive, thinks he can drive, but come on.
Not every crime comes with a criminal mastermind. It seems like
no, it does not.
Depending on the status of the person who switched, the dog may have been a better driver.
The dog may have been the better driver.
So, but good to hear the update from Springfield, Colorado. Keep you posted on that.
The 2 people in the back seat. There's a lot more to that story.
Yeah,
I need to sort that one out at some point.
At least we know where Springfield is now. It's way down there.
Yes, we do.
Kansas and Oklahoma.
Yes, we do. We got this news late last night that there was a plane crash. 2 people died in a plane crash yesterday, and that plane took off from Loveland Airport. The plane, a Cessna 182, took off about 11:30 yesterday morning, was headed to Rock Springs, Wyoming. The victims' names haven't been released. The FAA and NTSB will investigate the cause of the crash.
TikTok, of course, one of the most popular apps in America, but a growing number of governments are trying to ban it due to cybersecurity concerns. Small business owners who use the app for free marketing are worried about it going away, though. One such business, this one, Jimmy's Automotive Machine Shop, located in the rural Eastern Plains. It's a father and son business with 679,000 TikTok followers. Nicholas Wolfram says popularity on TikTok helped them expand to other platforms like YouTube and Instagram that pay content creators a lot better. But he credits TikTok for launching their online fame.
Luckily for us in our particular business, we're not relying on it to bring in our customers, but there are a lot of businesses who are relying on it.
It still amazes me that I just can't believe that many people would want to watch what we do.
They do. On Capitol Hill, though, some lawmakers have been expressing concern about TikTok's Chinese parent company and the possibility of them sharing user data with China. TikTok's CEO assured Congress that's never happened and wouldn't do so if they were asked.